already on air, you're basically, everyone knows your business, everyone knows what you're doing. There's some the things that you can't hide. So for your private business to go public like that, like,
it's very sad, man.
Anyway,
give us a background.
Let me tell you who this is, and you'll understand why I'm just there like, girl. Senator Karen Nyamu is to be auctioned for 1.25 million in rent arrears.
Yeah. What?
And
who?
Yeah.
That's very embarrassing, by the way. Very, very embarrassing. As in, from somebody of that status, she's a senator, man.
I know. So it's like you've been coming off of so many things, and for you to now be auctioned off for rent arrears, I'm like, girl.
So that's crazy. That's crazy, man.
So clearly, this money has been accumulating to a point where now the landlord is like, "Apana, now we're gonna have to go to the auctioneers."
Hey, where does she live?
Yeah, man.
Runda.
Oh, in Runda.
Yeah.
She clearly can't afford it, isn't it?
That is exactly what I was saying. Yeah. I'm like, okay, if you want to live in a high-end place, that's all good. Mm-hmm. But if you know you cannot afford to, pay rent in this kind of places. Not that you don't have the money, you just don't have the discipline, and that your lifestyle doesn't allow you to be able to accommodate yourself in such places like this. Yeah. Why don't you downgrade or even buy a house that you don't have a landlord knocking on your door every single day, be like, okay, where's my rent?
Yeah, because you see, most of these people, especially politicians, I feel like the younger ones, they have a lot to learn. Maybe they get in there and they become instantly very extravagant. They start buying expensive things.
So. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unnecessary trips to Dubai,
and then
to
you
South
can afford
Africa.
Something basic like your rent. Like your rent is supposed to be the most important thing, on your expenses. But just buy a house. Just buy one.
At this point, since you have money enough to splurge going to South Africa, going to Dubai, you can afford a house.
But if your leader cannot afford their rent, that just shows you that they can't even afford being a leader. Yeah. They can't make those those important decisions. If you cannot handle your rent, brother, you have no business handling the public.
You can't handle the public.
No,
that's a pure example of why you should not be given authority.
Exactly.
Or any leadership position.
It's the basics. It's the basics, bro. If you can't get them right, I'm sorry, I don't trust you with power.
But Miss Karen, man, she loves to party.
But if you actually think about it, if your rent is maybe like 300,000 and we are trusting you with millions of shillings.
Yeah, taxpayers' money,
you can't handle 300,000. How do we know? Like, where is our money, first of all? Like, I need to just stop there and just be like, okay, where is the money that you're in charge of?
Oh, by the way, side note, most of these politicians are in serious debt, huh? Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. And we're the ones who are trusting them with the money of the country.
Yeah, even with their own personal finances, they misuse their monies. They act... It's like you're there to just be extravagant, to get rich. It just shows you, man. If you can't handle your money, bro, I don't trust you.
Getting a lot of money and especially you not doing anything, I guess now it just becomes a recipe for disaster.
And why is she so controversial? Like, everything about Karen Nyamu, I'm sorry, I respect her. She's a Kenyan, she's my sister, whatever. But, like, anything on the news to do with Karen Nyamu is just somehow controversial.
It's always drama.
It's just drama. Oh, Matara, she was dancing some type of way in the club.
I saw her on top of a chair, man, dancing, and someone was just spanking.
You get, bro, what are you saying? Me, I saw her seated some type of way in Parliament, man. I'm like, what? Her feet crossed, you get. You remember that picture I showed you?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Guys, can we just be like, can we act like honorable people? Because if you're in that position, if you're a senator, I'm a member of parliament, act with dignity, be like an ideal. Kenyans need to look up to you.
You're in parliament and you're just scrolling through your feed on Instagram, you're looking at things on TikTok.
That flew out the window with this government.
Yeah.
Like, technically, we can see that already.
Are there any projects that she's done?
We have other people saying, I'm a bad gal.
That's not her mandate, bro, to come up with projects. She's a senator. Her job is to argue out laws,
argue
debate
out
laws.
Stuff,
How are you meant to argue out laws if you can't pay your rent?
That's the question, man. That's the question. I question your decision.
How are you defending the Kenyan people? You can't even
But but all in all, for me, this thing, I kind of stopped blaming politicians. I'm even corporate leaders to an extent. Because but let's focus on politicians for now. They are a representation of society. Most of these guys are actually voted by Kenyans. Some are, of course, imposed on by the powers that be. They were imposed on us. But these are the quality of leaders that we chose. I know when I say that, it pisses many people off. But those are your standards, Kenyans. Please.
That's what you chose.
You know how you castigate a politician? Basically, you're castigating yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a mirror effect.
But my
That's your
main
niche.
issue now is not even the fact that she's being auctioned off. My main issue is how many other people are doing, behind the scenes are going through similar issues. And if they're going through similar issues, they're showing us where this country is, where the government is as a whole. Because if you have problems like these in your personal life, it shows me you're not set to handle big problems.
Yeah, there's somebody
You're in the wrong position.
Yeah.
Because if I can't trust you with 1 shilling, how am I meant to trust you with 100 shillings?
Yeah, you know that thing for the first step to becoming a success is learning how to lay your bed. It basically means it starts with the most personal thing is like a bed.
Yeah.
Which is being auctioned off now.
If you cannot get your most personal things, like where your bed is, if you cannot take care of where your family resides, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't believe you out here with Sijui power and Sijui sorting out the welfare of Kenyans. I'm sorry, you can't convince me. You can't.
So are you gonna? Can you trust Morara and Matiang'i to be your president?
Let's talk about that when we come back. So praise the Lord.
Are they being auctioned off?
No, they're not being auctioned off.
Do they have
the greatest hits live here. Spice FM.